When you look at that game in particular, once Michigan hit a couple deep shots, I mean, the reason that Cornelius Johnson scored on that first touchdown on that little, hitch route, there's nobody back there. Once he beat the corner, once he beat Jack Sawyer's tackle, there was nobody back there. I mean, once they realized, JJ McCarthy can throw the ball, and they started to kind of peel off a little bit and play a little bit softer, that's when you started to get the chunk runs. When Michigan on, I think, their first drive of the second half, McCarthy had a 15-yard run. I want to say Edwards had a decent-sized run. And then they hit the 45-yard touchdown to the tight end over top to take the lead, which they would never relinquish for any Ohio State fans in here. I mean, if you want to make that statement, that's fine. But I mean, outside of Georgia, and I know there's some great offensive lines in the Big Ten, but you just look at the experience, what they've done on the field the last 2 years, you're really going to be hard-pressed to find, a better, more talented, more experienced offensive line. And that's why I'm confident that Michigan's going to be able to go into Happy Valley, run the ball, play good defense, and get out of there with a win. Now, that's going to be a tough game. Don't get me wrong. But, I mean, if you want to say that about Michigan's O-line, sure. You say that about Ohio State's offensive line. Ohio State didn't run the ball really well at all for the first drive. So, I mean, you can cherry pick stats all day if you want.
Yeah, there's no way getting around 45-23. Now, we can massage it a little bit and say it was a closer game than that. And it was still in doubt with about 7 or 8 minutes, but you play 60 and Michigan was the better team with 7 or 8 minutes left. And then they were definitely the best team the last 7 or 8 minutes, because then they just ran them out of the stadium.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think, look, I'm not going to come on here and say that's going to happen again. But I think Ohio State and Jim Knowles in particular is going to have to do some soul searching. I don't think you're going to be able to, if they try to come with that same, bring 7 every single down, maybe 8 on some downs in the Big House that they did last year, I think it's going to go the same way. They're going to have to figure out a way to stop that run game without bringing the house. Like, if you bring the house and you stop the run, yeah, but then you have receivers flying downfield that were wide open for 75-yard touchdowns, right? So that's kind of my point on that subject. But again, I understand Ohio State, Penn State, a lot of these Big Ten teams are very talented. I'm not trying to discredit them, but I just think Michigan right now with this experience is a notch above. And just like in 2024, I'll come on and say Michigan loses a lot, right? Like, this is kind of one of those last hurrah moments for Michigan this year with this loaded roster. I think that's why I think I'm so bullish on this team, is because it is that last dance.